Dan Bongino. Nightmare. Guess I'll be on audio trip like that. Surface. I'm on somebody else's Wi-Fi. What do you think you saw? Oh, there's a squirrel. Oh, come on. I just got offered one. Cool. Looks like the following one thing. It's just going to disconnect whenever it wants, huh? There's no volume.
And all the things they don't. Experts again. Folks, it's failed homicides. It's a tangle, folks. It's not credits, policing strategy. That don't make like this was a bomb. Cracks me up. Improvements in reduced homicide rate since 20. What the hell happened since new ultra modern people from the dead? Lazarus
under RFK.
Axios. My God, man, like get it together. Just violent crime is committed by a small portion of the population. President Trump said, "Go get them." That's why the violent rate is this way. It's not a complex.
Go get the bad guys and arrest them. It's not a complex tangle. RFK is my Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr.
The lead and gasoline. Oh, yeah. They know the lead and gasoline, which impairs brain development. Lead hasn't been in gasoline for now. Then you wonder why these people vote the way they do. These absolute tools on the left. They actually believe this. Yeah, I'm glad you pointed out. No, it's definitely the lead and the gasoline, man. Glad we got that out. Lead and gasoline. Who's in gas?
Not the mandate, not the reduction.
Can you look that up? Was it the 70s? Yeah, I was born in 74. definitely lead in the gasoline. You see how to lead in the gas? That's what that information from a social media environment.
It just keeps cutting out. Maybe we'll go to a stronger signal. Turn this one on and that one shuts off. Come on now, my baby. It's all free.
Social media folks that anybody can say anything at any time. And I worship that right. I've been a supporter of free speech my whole life. But Jeremy Boring from Daily Wire did an interview on with your kids. Folks, I've seen it even in my own household and dealing with the kids in our neighborhood. A young child's brain is not ready for this influx of negative
having smartphones and social media today with an even worse pit in our stomach than looking back at those kids smoking in the.
All right. James, I was sent a copy of your resume. Let me know if you're interested in an interview. I said, yes, I am. Which location and time, please? Yeah, baby. Let's get it.
And I think that we will look back. You know, you see pictures sometimes from the turn of the century where there's like a 12-year-old boy on a street corner with selling newspapers with a cigarette in his mouth, and you think
that's when our countries were
it was a better time. Our countries were great.
That's when our country was free, bitch. You think a fucking cigarette is worse than a fucking shot? A fake vaccine poison shot? Fuck you, bitch. Fuck you. Bring back the fucking cigarettes without chemicals in them. Bring them back now. Open the fucking age up for everybody. I don't give a fuck. You're done killing my fucking babies before they make it out of the womb. You're done shooting them up with fucking poison if they do make it out of the womb. And you're done fucking capturing them, chopping them up, and eating them if they don't get fucking shot up. So check this fucking shit out. Bring back the natural fucking tobacco. Bring back the nicotine vape made from natural American fucking tobacco with zero other
They were
additives.
either there in person, they told you over the phone, they have to mail you a letter. You suck, and you'd have to open it up.
Make some vape from American tobacco. Where's all the American tobacco farms at? Where the fuck have the American tobacco farms gone? And the hemp farms. And the marijuana farms, bitch. Where the fuck are all my important farms at? I'm so sick of this fake shit. This deadly poison we're living under. I need tobacco.
The shrinking of the social distance combined with the interconnectivity of this web-based world.
You want a mercury, aluminum, monkey kidney cell, hamster cell, worm cell, and aborted fetal tissue cell shot? Or you want a fucking piece of tobacco? I'd rather take a fucking piece of tobacco now, wouldn't I? Somebody's gonna suck my fucking dick. Just bring back the tobacco.
You see it, all these kids in mental health pros offices all the time. I'm not telling you I've been the best parent in this regard either. It's hard.
As soon as I can, I'm growing American tobacco. I'm growing marijuana and tobacco just as soon as I have the fucking resources to do it. Fuck the ATF. Fuck the IRS. You're all sucking my fucking dick before you fucking get me in trouble for anything stupid, bitch. I'll fucking see to it. I don't do necrophilia, but I'll make sure you suck my fucking dick. Which means I'll fucking
where their cortisol levels are, their brain.
Which means I'll fucking kill you if I have to make you suck my dick before you take my tobacco and marijuana, bitch. Don't touch my gun either, bitch. Don't touch my fucking money. You don't touch my paycheck. Get fucked. You don't touch my tobacco, my firearm, my marijuana, my alcohol. You don't have any business in my still, in my distillation operation. You have no fucking business in it. I make my own tobacco, alcohol, marijuana, bullets. And it's none of your fucking business, bitch. None. None whatsoever, knows it. Not at all, not at all. Not at all.
The fake it until you make it effect. Listen.
Homemade tobacco, alcohol, and firearms. And marijuana. Why don't you put an end on the name of that dumbass fucking agency, bitch? Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck the DEA. They don't even bust cartel terrorists that are embedded and posing as American families. I've turned them in and they don't.
A lot of it is an act. A lot of it is an act. You see these Instagram photos. Look at me. I'm on it. And you find out later it's staged. But these kids are like, wow, why don't I have that? How come?
Is FBI just fuck bitch intentions? Fuck bitch intentions. That's the FBI.
I'm not a 21-year-old influencer driving a Lamborghini. Because he rented it.
All right.
All of it is, a lot of this stuff is bullshit. And your kids are seeing it, and they're led to believe that this is, in fact, reality. It is not. It is not. I'm not pretending to be the MVP of parents, most valuable parent. I screwed up a lot. I still screw stuff up every day. There's no manual for parenting. There just isn't. New problems present themselves every day. I probably screwed up the social media things with my kids too. But be careful. Their brains are not ready for this. Man, I've been in this business a long time. And I'll tell you, sometimes you read it and if I'm like, is that real? And then you realize a lot of it's all bullshit, even with the botting and all that other stuff. All right, I want to wrap up with this story. Do you have that Wall Street Journal Ossoff story? Because I like to kind of leave you with a bit of levity, but this stuff's not funny, but it is. The SAVE Act, I'm going to keep harping on this because if we don't preserve our elections, it's the perfect bookend for the show today. We started with the Fulton County, Georgia election problems. John Solomon, his coverage of the FBI ongoing investigation into irregularities down there. Watch the beginning of the show if you missed on demand. However, the Democrats have no real argument against national voter ID and voter integrity measures. They don't. So James Freeman writes in the Wall Street Journal.
Not just voter ID. We need paper ballots hand counted on election day. Mail-in needs to occur ahead of time only. There's no excuse for having a late mail-in ballot. None whatsoever. If you know you're not going to be able to, if you're disabled, if you're truly disabled, you vote about 2 weeks before everybody else. And it's already fucking counted by the time anybody else votes, man. How about that? How about that? No more mystery mail-in ballots. You like that idea, don't you?
Democrats still searching for an argument against voter ID. You see this fraud, the senator out of Georgia, Jon Ossoff, how this guy got elected, I don't know. We'll have to see. Fulton County, Georgia. Well, I don't know. But with polling showing over 80% of Americans in favor of voter ID, Freeman notes it's hard to come up with reasons why you need an ID to board a plane, but not to vote in a federal election.
Yeah, right.
That was particularly glaring this week when Senator John Ossoff, Democrat from Georgia, required people to show an ID to attend his campaign events after opposing an ID requirement to vote. So just to be clear, Johnny O, I didn't want to insult you. Wasn't Johnny O like a freestyle singer back in New York? And Paula, Johnny O, remember? I didn't want to insult you. John Ossoff. So you can demand an ID for people to come in to hear.
Johnny. So no ID to vote, but you need ID to go to his rally. Let's plug the speaker in. Looks like, no, it's not that. But I better plug it in. Huh, we'll get some better service.
To you.
If I relocate.
Again, if you just tuned in now, you missed the beginning of the show. You can watch the show on demand. Don't miss the beginning about an update. The documents are now some, obviously not all, of the FBI's investigation into Georgia have gone public. Don't get out ahead of it. That's always a big mistake. But the information is really troubling. We should not have irregularities that make it past the judge and build PC for a potential criminal case. And nobody wants that. But here we are. Folks, we got Haley coming up next. She's at rumble.com/Haley, Hayley. You always have Vince at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, rumble.com/Vince. Be sure to check out their show. Also, if you want your daily news fix, go to BonginoReport.com. Traffic to the site is exploded. Thank you very much. We've got a couple of new folks over there aggregating the news for the day. We got tired of Drudge Report's left-wing bias, so we did BonginoReport.com. Check it out. Bookmark the page. Sign up for the mailing list. We really appreciate it. And please go to rumble.com/Bongino. If you can do this today, we would really appreciate it. I hate asking you guys for favors, but it matters. Click that subscribe button. It's free. You get notifications when the show goes live every day at 10 a.m. Join the chat room early for the great Bongino Army chats that go on there. I dump in there sometimes. Rumble.com/Bongino. Rumble.com/Bongino. We were #1 trending again on Spotify. So please go to Spotify and Apple and give us a follow there on those platforms as well. I really appreciate it. I will see you back here tomorrow at 10 a.m. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey there, I'm Vince.
I'm Haley Carania,
Host of Vince.
host of Scrolling with Haley.
You can always catch my show right here
On the Bongino Report channel.
live, 8 a.m. Eastern, weekday mornings.
He made it non-rewindable.
Noon weekdays. And if you miss it, no worries. The show will always be right here and anywhere you find a podcast. Thanks for watching.
I hire for 8 locations. Oh, wow. The guy said he hires for 8 locations. That's pretty cool.
This literally saved my marriage. Every time he takes it, it's like the first time we met all over again.
This little blue pill has been the go-to for over 25 years, and it just...
Why? I have huge erections, dumbass. I don't need that. Why are you showing that to me? My erectile is like on fucking point, dog. Like, I'm actually one of these healthy motherfuckers walking around. You gotta be shitting yourself. Stop showing me shit vaccinated motherfuckers need. Show that to my audience members.
Congress people get up there and they're looking for a gotcha question. You know, lawyers often ask yes or no questions on cross-examination to try to pin a witness down to make them look bad, to impeach them for their prior inconsistent statements. One person is trying to bolt somebody else down to a yes or no question. The other one wants to get a meaningful answer. The other person takes their time back. It's all garbage. It's meaningless gobbledygook. Nobody cares. It's a colossal waste of time. They are accomplishing nothing with this hearing, nothing whatsoever. The fact that the Congresswoman is pointing to the people in the back and saying that the victims are here, she's exploiting the victims, it's ridiculous. They don't talk about the fact that the vast majority of the people who ever went to Epstein Island, it's like some 90% of them are all Democrats. The whole thing is just garbage. It's nonsense. And then when you look at the current Department of Justice's job, look, they have not done a great job. I think Pam Bondi is defending herself well today. But having said all of that, they have not been transparent. They have not delivered on their promises to the American people in a timely manner. And when they have turned things over sloppily. They have turned things over haphazardly. And they're still redacting very important information. The American public wants accountability. They want it yesterday. And, anything short of 100% transparency on the Epstein matter is just going to fall short of getting the job done, Brianna.
Yeah, well, McBride, this is the problem here, right? Because we were actually playing a clip earlier in the show of one of the members of Congress, a Democrat, who was listing the 6 men who their names were
McBride and McBreen, two badass MFs.
redacted under the original document dump. And now since, Congressman Massey has gone back and
no
asked
makeup,
these
no
questions,
filter,
they've
just one
unredacted
ginger
these
trick
names.
every single day.
This is the ginger trick that
Why
made me
is there
look
a
40,
commercial playing?
even though I'm almost 70. And you know what the best part is? It's natural, cheap, easy to prepare, and has zero side effects.
Wow, the show was playing, and a commercial just started playing in the background, even when I paused the show. Let's recalibrate here. I'm not going to get upset. There's nothing to really suggest that I should get upset. I got a guy offering me a job interview. Oh. Okay. I spend a lot of time on the west side, if that's a possibility. But can be flexible. Can flex. But can flex if need be. I spend a lot of time on the west side, if that's a possibility. But can flex if need be. They must be hiring. I'm not going to say what company it is. He said there's 8 locations here. All right, bet. Oh, come on. Need some more water? You don't want water.
Before,
after, before, after.
This is the ginger trick that made me look 40, even though I'm almost 70. And you know what the best part is? It's natural, cheap, easy to prepare, and has zero side effects.
Ears ringing. This means you're losing your memories every month. So if you're suffering from tinnitus, I'm going to tell you a secret that Big Pharma doesn't want you to know. A brilliant team of neurologists, ENTs, and medical researchers gathered in a Houston, Texas laboratory to research the origin of ringing ears. After countless brain
video, obviously we talked about extensively on this show. We know Mark Kelly is internally being penalized by the Pentagon. But what do you make of this? Because it seems like the DOJ can't land indictments.
I don't like it. I think this is a personnel look. President Trump is a great president. He loves this country. He loves America. Personnel is not his strong suit. The people who are choosing these battles and picking these fights simply don't know what the hell they're doing. First and foremost, the case is
if the stars are on the right side of the flag, that just means you're on the right side of it when it's going into battle.
Weak on its face.
So if you ever put a flag on the right side of your body on a hat or any article of clothing, you need to put the stars facing forward so you're not retreating. You're always going forward. Don't face the stars backward. Don't put the stars on the top left if it's on the right-hand side of your body.
The internal processes from the Department of War, the Pentagon, whatever the relevant military branches are, deal with these people internally. The fact that they made a video that people don't like and he said some questionable stuff, on its face, it's just not actionable. Then you compound that with the fact that you're trying to get an indictment in Washington, D.C. Are you out of your friggin' mind? It is never going to happen. So in the end, you have what looks like a political attack on members of the United States government by the opposition party in power. They're coming off looking like Joe Biden and Merrick Garland. It looks ridiculous. It failed. It was never going to happen. It should have never happened. Look, are there moral reasons why we don't like this? Do we hate the fact that members of our government told, members of the military resist and this and that? Sure. Is there some leeway? Is there tradition where people can do that in this country? Yes. Should people be indicted for it? I don't think so.
This isn't the best experience for somebody else to watch along here, but better than me watching it by myself. If they pay me, hey, that's a double blessing. But it's already a blessing. Hey, don't do it. Just watching, not having to watch this alone. Just knowing that I have an arm out there to say to somebody, hey, watch this with me if you want.
And was there ever going to be an indictment in a Washington D.C. district court that was ever going to come to fruition, that was ever going to pass muster, that they were going to vote to indict these people? It was never going to happen. Never going to happen. You got to choose your battles and you got to choose your wars wisely. This is poorly planned, poorly thought out, poorly executed.
That's what happens when a pit bull German Shepherd Rottweiler gets a hold of your flag. And that's what happens when a pit bull German Shepherd Rottweiler gets a hold of your Bible.
Look in everybody's face.
Yeah. No, I mean, I didn't realize that there was even an attempt to get a grand jury involved in that one. So that was quite confusing. But most importantly, too, I mean, I know the Mark Kelly stuff was going on, and he's also filed a civil lawsuit as well because he's not happy with how the Department of War kind of ruled in regards to his participation in this video. But we'll continue to follow it, too. I would say, yeah, probably the grand jury is a waste.
Well, I mean, if they really wanted to, they could just recall him back to service and shoot him in a firing squad. Same with Tim Walz. That's how Tim flipped on a dime like that all of a sudden. It was full riot, full anti-Trump, and then we're cooperating. We'll take care of it. give the illusion that you're pulling out, and then all of a sudden his cops started doing their job. All of a sudden his fucking policemen, his sheriff's deputies, his state troopers, they all started actually doing their fucking job. Because I think he got the call that said, Tim, you're going to be recalled to service and shot. We're going to reactivate you and shoot you in a firing squad. It'll happen next week. You decide, Tim. Tim, you decide.
Our resources, but I want to get to this one as well, because this seems to be another loss for the DOJ. And this one actually comes at the hands of a Trump appointee, so I want to highlight just that. But obviously the DOJ and Harmeet Dillon, she's trying, I think, her very best to gain access to the voter rolls, to kind of sift through what's actually happening in a lot of states. And it's happening both in blue and red states that she's asking for this data. Well, sadly, a federal judge in Michigan has just dismissed the DOJ's lawsuit that sought to get the voter registration data from the states. This, again, is a Trump appointee who ruled that the existing federal voting laws do not mandate such disclosures. Now, this is not only Michigan. This is also Oregon and California, who've also ruled the same way in all of this. Do you think upon
First and foremost, look, the Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution protects American citizens against warrantless intrusion by the United States government. That is a bedrock fundamental principle of American life. Without the Fourth Amendment, we're all in very, very big trouble. FISA courts are something that came about after 9/11, the Patriot Act. There was a lot of fear in the American consciousness. In the American citizenry gave away power to the United States government to go after terrorists. What this subsection 702 does,
That's fucking bullshit.
The sunset provision is April 20th of this year. What it does is it allows the United States government, agencies in the United States government, to look at foreign actors absent a warrant. So if you're a terrorist or a person of interest in another country, we can look at you without a warrant. Okay, look, there are national security concerns. That makes sense. But what often happens in these investigations is that the communications of American citizens, their emails, their paperwork, their financial records, whatever it is, they get caught up in this dragnet of warrantless intrusion into other people's lives. So there comes, it begs the question, what happens when the United States government agencies, law enforcement agencies, come into possession of American citizens' private information absent a warrant? At that point in time, they should apply for a warrant to use that information, or they should have to mandatorily discard that information and seal it off somewhere. There is no stop provision in this section 702 that protects the American citizen's right to be free from the prying eyes of the government into their life absent a warrant. So what Mike Lee is saying is, hey, listen, either let this expire or let's revise this process to give the American citizen protection, because if his or her information gets exposed in these warrantless intrusions, they should have a right to say, hey, government, you can't look into my life absent a warrant, because that's what the Constitution says. Unfortunately, Brianna, I stated this early on in the appearance, and I'll state it again and again and again. Once the American government grabs power, it never relinquishes power. So I don't believe that that Mike Lee's going to win here. I hope that he wins, but I think that the industrial complex, the spying complex, the power complex, the intelligence complex of the United States government has a vested interest in the acquisition of power, and it does not care about the private American citizens' right to be free from warrantless intrusion. So I don't think that we're going to win. I do think that we're going to lose on this. I think that the federal government will continue to grow in power, and that FISA courts will continue to be routinely used to circumvent the constitutional protections that American citizens are afforded in order to intrude into private citizens' lives. And they work hand in glove with the big tech complex as well.
Yeah, that's a big problem here, and we all know of it. Well, we all know too well about it. Quick question before we go, though. John Cornyn, the senator from Texas, who's going to likely be replaced by Ken Paxton very, very soon if all goes well, he had the guts to go out and say during a Senate confirmation hearing for Pam Bondi, this was about a year ago, that no American has actually been targeted through FISA.
Is that the case?
That is not the case. That is a material lie. That is absolutely ridiculous. I can tell you, based on my own work as an attorney, when FISA courts were used against foreign nationals and American citizens, that FISA courts are routinely used against American citizens. FISA courts are disgusting. Look, there's no adversarial process. It's a prosecutor in a dark room in D.C. somewhere with a judge pointing the finger at somebody, whether they're an American citizen or not, saying that this person has connection to foreign ties. Therefore, we should raid their house. We should raid their bank accounts. We should look into their life. And then later, if we get what we need, maybe we'll apply for a warrant. Maybe we won't. It is absolute nonsense for this man to state that it's never been used against an American citizen. It's an absolute abject lie.
Yeah, he referred to it as disinformation. That's when I knew that we had to replace him. And we're looking forward to
he's an idiot.
Yeah, he is. But you know what, McBride, you're not an idiot. You're actually one of the most intelligent people I know. So, Joseph McBride, thank you for joining us. Folks, if you haven't done so already, give him a follow on X, McBride Law NYC. That's McBride Law NYC. He has some of the best takes. We obviously appreciate him coming on to join us today. So, thank you for that. All right, folks, we're keeping our eye right now.
That's loud,
on
isn't it?
Pam
That's pretty
Bondi
loud.
as she begins. I don't want to bore you to death with all the details because, well, Jerry Nadler was caught. Again, falling asleep. Take a look at this video. Nadler, not really in the mood to be there. It's nap time for the Nadler. This is why term limits are so important. Most importantly,
Nadler was asleep.
oh my gosh, these people are awful. I say it all the time. I'll say it again. Stop electing people who are smarter than people like Jerry Nadler.
Name could you come up with?
I'll say brainless, and I'll say the other word. Brainless.
Motherfucker snatching baby nuts or something.
Being,
he thinks he's fucking.
Has done nothing for New York City residents, of course, but he continues to get elected to his position and sits on some of the highest committee assignments, and then uses it to fall asleep. Jerry Nadler, the man whose belly button holds up his pants every day, just taking a little nap during Pam Bondi's hearing today. Because
he does what with his pants?
Right, actually having to have discussion. That's probably actually why Pam Bondi flamed him earlier in the hearing as well. Because, well, he's one of the many absolute losers that we have sitting in Congress, and we, the American people, could do significantly better. All right, folks, head on over to thealexjonesstore.com. 50% off all supplements when you subscribe. Go over there right now. Make a purchase. It's Alex Jones's birthday, so make sure if you're on X, wish him a happy birthday. That does it for me. The Alex Jones Show is up next. Don't go anywhere.
I see through a rose-colored darkly. That means I'm trying to tell you the truth, but I'm not always right just about 98% of the time. And bad guys of every stripe don't want this show on the air. But you're the good guys. You have to decide, hey, this guy's a fighter.
You have to decide, hey, this guy's a fighter.
Our great sponsor, those, thealexjonesstore.com. No matter what happens, InfoWars, we continue on the Alex Jones Network that's been built. So cool. Said, Alex, you keep getting it wrong. We don't have 84% reorder on ultramethylene blue. We don't have 76% reorder on the supplements on average. You're reading that wrong. That's on total customers. We have a 97% reorder from anybody that orders at thealexjonesstore.com. Well, that's a testament to you guys out there supporting us and how great the products are. Nobody, a site that has a 20% reorder is seen as successful. That is you being steadfast supporters, and I want to thank you. So we're running the biggest sale of the year right now, over 50% off on ultramethylene blue, on the bovine colostrum, on the new methylene red that's proprietary to us, on the Shilajit complex, the Irish CMOS, atomic defense, and more. But it's only running until next Monday. Got 6 days to take action. TheAlexJonesStore.com. Takes money to fight a war. We're fighting a war. Plus, the products are great. So please get yours now. Over 50% off, but it's an alert.
That's
Only a
the
few days
name
left.
of the
Thank you
game.
so much.
Knife? What knife? Are you suggesting this is a knife I have in my hand? Have you gone mad, my sane husband? There was a knife, but I lost it.
Isn't it fascinating how the timing always lines up like a rigged game of dominoes? Just as the Epstein files start spilling out their filthy secrets, names, dates, and depraved dealings that could topple empires.
There are code words that suggest Jeffrey Epstein and his associates consumption. Is that human consumption?
The media machine cranks into overdrive with blatant distractions and a minimization press.
That bomb squad vehicle just pulled back in, but the 2 SWAT vehicles and the mobile command center are still out there somewhere. We were made aware of a location that they might be traveling to.
Election fraud gets criminally exposed in broad daylight, with whistleblowers and evidence piling up like unpaid bills.
Normally, you would expect to see a smooth curve going up, not any big spikes. That's kind of what Greg was talking about, the anomalies of loading and uploading those votes. So that big spike that occurs there is a prime indicator of fraudulent voting.
And that's 604,000 votes in 90 minutes. Is that right?
Correct.
6,000 votes in 90 minutes.
Office in Caracas.
600,000 votes in 90 minutes? What do you say?
The National Electoral Commission. And there's 150 Smartmatic engineers and 150 C&E engineers side by side. They have 2 missions. Number 1, steal elections. Number 2, defeat audit. Study audit. How do different states and different localities
Do
conduct
their
audit?
audit.
So that when they're audited, you defeat audit.
And suddenly the
Defeat
Save
the
Act,
audit.
that beacon of voter integrity born of common sense, loses steam thanks to spineless politicians on both sides of the uniparty aisle playing footsie with
Both
the deep
sides of the
state.
uniparty
The
aisle.
SAVE Act is expected to be brought to the floor for a vote this week. What are your thoughts on that? Are you going to support the SAVE Act?
Not at all. It's a
False
terrible
left-right
idea.
paradigm.
This notion that we want to put more obstacles in the paths of voters is just what Donald Trump wants. Fewer people voting. I want every
Somebody
legal
fire that guy.
citizen in America to be able to vote without obstacles.
Do you think requiring an ID to vote in elections is making it harder? I mean,
It's more than that. It's more than an ID. It's proof that you were born in America. So what are we talking about? A passport or a birth certificate? Got one of those handy with you in your purse? I doubt it.
But no, we can't have the masses focusing on the actions
Proof
of
that you were
our
born in America.
Instead, it's wall-to-wall coverage of the
Got one of those
Savannah
handy? Yes, I do.
saga
Got my
on
birth
Fox
certificate right
News
here,
and
bitch.
every other propaganda
Yes, I
puppet
do.
show with regurgitated monotony. But at least we at
Got my driver's
InfoWars
license and
can
birth
talk
certificate
about
right here.
the sheer volume of dirt they're burying.
He said, and you'll be lucky if you're eating bugs. You'll
Wesley
probably be
Medical
dead.
Center.
And of course, that's
Wichita,
about
Kansas,
Lex
January
Wexner, as I
21st,
told you
1988.
15 years ago.
I'm from
Was
here,
the
bitch.
CIA,
Where the
Mossad,
fuck did you come
MI6
from?
mega spy chief.
I'm from here. Where the fuck did you come from?
For George Herbert Walker Bush and Bill Barr, putting him on the Trilateral
My parents are
Commission.
from here. My grandparents are from here. My great-grandparents are from here.
On the
Where in
commission,
the
not this
fuck
son
did
commission.
you and your family come from?
Commission is some spooky stuff. People said it was some of the people that the Illuminati. There's some mystery about it. People that ran the world. It was politicians, but David said most countries, the politicians get elected for 4 years or 8 years, separate from the royal families in England or in the Middle East. Someone's there for consistency would be businessmen. So he formed this Trilateral Commission of businessmen and politicians from 3 major continents. So it was the North Americans, the Europeans, and the Asians. So he said to me, would you like to be on the Trilateral Commission? No. I was 30 years old.
That's because they have to have a guy trained and ready that's doing the job who will do exactly as they say.
Meanwhile, the propaganda outlets aren't just non-reporting. They are engineering consent, diverting eyes.
One of the most important things to me in my life is to get things right and to tell the truth and to be accurate. That's why they say Alex Jones is right. But it's not just our news or prediction or information that are incredibly accurate. It's the products out of all the amazing supplements at thealexjonesstore.com. Methylene Blue, Ultra Methylene Blue is the best you're going to find on the market. It's so good for your body. Instant, clean, amazing energy. You owe it to yourself if you sat on the fence to go to thealexjonesstore.com.
I just ran out.
Reorder it again. We have an 84% reorder on that product. No other supplement anywhere has anything even close. That is how amazing it is. Secure your Ultra Methylene Blue now at thealexjonesstore.com. And thanks for keeping us on the air. Repeat what you said, Sam.
I feel like that stuff in my fingers. I feel tingling fingers.
There's the camera. Blast them with full power right there. Yeah!
1:30 today sounds great.
If you are receiving this transmission, you are the resistance.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen.
All right.
Show. I'm your host, Harrison Smith, sitting in for Alex today. We've got a lot of...
Nailed me an interview.
Well, Joey Pepperoni is going to explain to us some of what's been revealed in the Epstein files. That, of course, is going to be probably the main topic of conversation today as it continues to dominate the headlines. And we continue to get a lot of information. In the Congress and Senate. I want to go to some of those videos here first. We also have some around the world terrorism to discuss from the usual suspects, I guess you could say. A 13-year-old stabbing his classmates in the UK while yelling,
Allah Akbar. A 13-year-old stabbing his classmates?
On handfuls of SSRIs. So we'll talk about that as well. We're going to be joined by Mike Lindell and Mark Mitchell of Rasmussen, talk about the devastating effects that Trump's failure to move on Epstein is having with his poll numbers and his support and what that means for the midterms. It's not looking good, folks. And again, we've got just a ton of new information. A lot of it positive for Trump, which is weird because he still seems to be avoiding this topic like the plague. It's very weird. It's very bizarre. It's very inexplicable, although I think I have some suggestions as to what might be behind some of this. But let's go to some of these clips from Pam Bondi where she's being asked about the Epstein files. It got a little contentious, not in a good way. And this is truly a bizarre situation to be in. Not to beat a dead horse or anything, but I do just want to remind you, again, that the Democrats have spent the last decade downplaying the entire concept of elite pedophilia. So then to see them standing on a pedestal and questioning Pam Bondi about Jeffrey Epstein, like they're the ones that care about this, it's just disingenuous enough to make you sick. But let's go to some of these clips from Pam Bondi. Let's go to clip 44 here. AG Pam Bondi just revealed a massive win. Let's watch.
The Department of Justice is committed to holding criminals accountable to the fullest extent of the law. In 2025, the FBI arrested over 1,700 child predators.
You've missed so many
a
motherfuckers.
10% increase from 2024.
You've missed so many.
We also located 2,700 victims of child exploitation and shut down.
Bitch acts like she can capture one fucking kitty diddler, give him 50 fucking years or life, and then let all the other 550,000 of them go. No, fuck you, bitch. Why don't you fucking work?
3 3.8 million dark web pedophile accounts. 3.8 million. So please, if you have information to share that needs to be investigated, contact the FBI.
Oh.
Okay, not
you don't
bad.
know
Not a
anything else
bad
about what
start.
they're doing.
And of course, she's right. And even Axios and other liberal publications have to admit it. Violent crime. This is actually directly in line with Trump's rhetoric. What are you talking about? But essentially, they're trying to say that, you know, all this talk about violent crime is overblown because look how much it's going down. It's like, no, it's going down like that because Trump has made it a priority, obviously. Violent crime dropped sharply across America's biggest cities in 2025, according to new data reviewed by Axios. The stats were yet another sign that violent crime in the U.S. was starkly different than what President Trump cited as his reason for sending federal troops to Chicago, Portland, Washington, D.C., Memphis, and other cities in California. Yeah, wrap your mind around the liberal worldview. It is just utter madness, pure, unrelenting madness. It just doesn't make any sense. So it's an article about how these programs have caused a precipitous drop in violent crimes, but the way they're presenting it as if the drop in crimes therefore discredits the reason that the program was instituted in the first place. I think they might be dumb. I think these people might just be very dumb or they're lying, but either way, screw them. But that's about the best that Bondi did, old AG Pam Bondi, in this hearing. And it turned into a shrieking match for a lot of it. Kind of embarrassing, if you ask me, even though
it's not Trump. It's the program.
Ratcliffe, what's that guy's name? He looks like a rat. Ratskin? Is that his name? His name is Ratskin? Ratskin, maybe more appropriate. I'm kidding, of course. Yes, Jamie Raskin. We know.
Ratskin.
We know old
Mouse
Jamie.
Skin and Ratskin.
He looks like
Same.
a
Mouse skin and rat skin are about the same.
these clips because they're very annoying, and it's just another sign of our collapse that we can't have a congressional or Senate hearing without it just descending into cursing. And
mouse skin is thinner than rat skin, isn't it? Thinner than nutria skin, thinner than otter skin, thinner than beaver skin, thinner than prairie dog skin.
Buffalo Bull Rep Jerry Nadler. Let's watch.
President saying they indicted me twice. They sure did. They tried to impeach him twice. And you, Mr. Nadler, were one of the leads on the impeachment.
Oh, the guy's awake now. Surely she's not talking to a sleeping person.
16. Have you apologized to President Trump? Have you?
Yeah, really. Have you apologized to our president yet? Good call.
To know this. They are talking.
Okay, she's starting out good. Strong start. She's hot out the gates.
Pages of documents, over 3 million. And Donald Trump signed that law to release all of those documents. He is the most transparent president in the nation's history.
So again, you know, she's like got this like fire and brimstone
I still believe
act
that.
going on. And listen, don't get me wrong.
FDR was
Jerry Nadler deserves
you know
every insult ever
We
thrown.
might have had some pretty transparent guys before, and they don't want to tell us about it. We might have had some really, really hardcore enemy presidents before as well. Why do you think our Knights Templar churches are gone? Why do you think our Native American history sites are gone? Our Wild West pioneer towns. Why'd they make all the fake reservoirs? Why'd they flood a dozen towns with each one? Or some of them all the way up or past a dozen. Maybe just a couple of towns versus 20 towns. Why did they kill all these people and destroy our history? I think they probably did kill people.
You have presided over a giant pot of absolutely nothing. You have achieved absolutely nothing. You have arrested absolutely none of the rampant criminals that still hold positions in our government in some cases. You couldn't get the Comey indictment. You didn't get indictments of anybody in Russiagate, despite the fact that we've known for the last decade at this point that these people flagrantly violated any number of laws.
Did they flood the giants that resided there too? Or did they just kill the Native Americans, the white settlers, the Christians, and destroy all their property, their towns, their houses, their churches? Yes, that's the story behind each one of our reservoirs. What do we have? A couple thousand of them across the country or something? Ooh, new skin. Oh, beautiful.
If it did happen,
How pretty is
corroborates
this?
exactly what President Trump has said from the beginning. And I'm sure many of you, when you read that alleged.
Okay, well. She's glistening. Better put a drop of methylene blue in there.
You want to call it conviction, where they pretended to convict him and they said, okay, you got to go to jail, but only on the weekends and we'll give you a ride. It's just ridiculous. But she was involved in that from the very beginning. And she's been involved in a lot of.
I might just let this harden. Should I just let this plasma do its job? Or should I go ahead and add some methylene blue? I'm going to add some methylene blue. See, some people would get stitches. Me, methylene blue. And torch. Methylene blue and torch. There you go. She's filled. It was a lot bigger. Can you see kind of the raw area?
Operation from an Israeli. Wait a second. I think I'm seeing a connection here. Matt Gaetz.
I just rubbed it. I accidentally just rubbed it on the glove box. Spread it out a little bit. Stop that. Don't do that. No, don't do that. Hey, those are humans. Come on. Those are old people that, let's hope they've contributed well. Let's hope they've contributed well. Oh man, this shit is fucking everywhere now. That was a pretty fat drop. And then I accidentally scraped the finger on the glove box when I was reaching for the bottle.
Pathetic. It honestly is pathetic. Do you want to go to some of the screeching, shall we? Shall we hear some of the screeching that our national government has
Anyway. Kind of sloppy, but at least she's filled halfway, now halfway. And I'm hovering it over the torch to dry it. That was sloppy as fuck. I hate that fuck. Ooh, I hate making mistakes that I know I shouldn't be making. You know, we all have a bar, right? We all have a bar. Most people let themselves be fat and weak. What in the fuck? Why? How in the fuck could you do that to yourself? Fat or weak? How in the fuck could you do either one of those to yourself? Is what I've had in my mind my entire life. Why would you let yourself be weak? Why would you let yourself be fat?
He had almost 7,000. And the NASDAQ smashing records. Americans' 401ks and...
How can you let yourself be fat? Maybe I'll get this job if I shower beforehand. I wonder if that was the issue with the previous ones.
Any of the co-conspirators that are revealed in these documents? And her answer is, guys, the Dow Jones is at 50,000. Now that seems crazy. That seems off the wall. It's why people are laughing.
The Dow Jones.
Conversation would make no sense until you realize the daughter was raped by the boss. Then it all comes full circle. Then you understand, oh, okay. See, the Dow Jones being this high is because the people... the economy. Now, that's not actually true. You could actually systematically round these guys up, go to them individually, person to person, and go, look, you're going down for this, but you can help us to transfer your wealth, transfer your assets, help us to understand, the consequence of you going down, and then we'll make it easy for you. We can, have you be held. You can be a hero in this. You can actually be somebody that was willing to sacrifice all of their wealth and all of their influence to tell the truth. And in return, maybe you go to like a nice camp instead of a prison complex. Like, you can work with them. You could actually do that. You could actually systematically take these guys down and capture their wealth through the government. Like, we have inordinate ability to do that with the American government. They can do anything they want if they put their mind to it. So the whole concept that like, if we ridiculous excuse in the first place, but I'm pretty sure that's the excuse she was making right there. I don't know, but it seems to me like when she's asked, why aren't you taking down the Jeffrey Epstein co-conspirators? And her response is, have you seen how high the stock market is? I don't think these are not related. I think they're very well related, actually. I think that's actually the argument that's being made inside the halls of power. We can't go after these guys. If we do, it'll ruin all of the incredible progress we've made. Giving the rapist money. Okay. I mean, again, the Dow Jones, the stock market, is not actually reflective of the condition of life in America.
Responded
and
with the
as
stock
American
market?
life has degraded precipitously, like gone down. Well,
It is time
you don't
for
go down
her
the
and
cliff,
people
do
like
you
her
go
to
off
go
of
down.
one. As we have tumbled down the slope of quality of life over the last several decades, our stock market has risen in almost perfect proportion. So I don't actually care about what the stock market says. It seems to be reflective of something completely different than the quality of life and economic outlook of the average American person. So who cares? But these people do. Let's go to clip 48 here. This is Bondi again, going tit for tat, sharing blows with Jerry Nadler, the Goblin. Let's go to clip 48 here, where she calls him a washed-up lawyer. Let's watch.
You can let her filibuster all day long, but not on our watch. Not on our time. No way. And I told you about that, Attorney General, before you started.
You don't tell me.
Yeah, I did tell you because we saw what you did in the Senate.
You're not even a lawyer.
Meeting will be in order. Time, and I should get back at least 25 seconds. We'll give you a few more seconds. I said that already.
No.
Okay.
Like, it would be one thing if any
I'm gonna
of
get
this
you
was
again
even
if you do it.
remotely legitimate. Like, the whole thing is
No,
absurd
stop it.
because these people are shouting and yelling and demanding answers and acting
I'm
with
gonna
righteous
strong-arm you.
indignation about
I'm gonna
something
strong-arm
they
you.
deliberately went out of their way to cover up for an entire decade. So their outrage isn't legitimate. Her outrage isn't legitimate. This is just a giant joke. This is a gigantic play-acting scam where everybody has completely switched sides from where they were a year ago, and yet are, yelling and screaming with exactly the same vociferousness that they were previously. The whole thing is ridiculous.
Get the back. Don't bark.
Pam Bondi and somebody like Merrick Garland is not just because Merrick Garland knew how to play the game. knew how to present himself like a consummate professional. But like in a lot of ways, he was that consummate professional, and he did just do things behind the scenes. Pam Bondi will go out and give talks and appear on Fox News and wave her papers around and act like she's getting to the bottom of it. She talks very tough, and then at the end of the day, absolutely nothing comes from it. On the other hand, what we actually need, the inversion of that, and what would save the country would be a Merrick Garland type figure who just is quiet in the background, plugging away, getting indictments, getting arrests done, not talking about it very much, coming out and making a speech about how everything he's doing is perfectly by the book. We actually need competent totally and no. The next year.
Stop it. Give me your fucking mouth. Stop it.
That's it for us as a country, and we're going to have to start making some very, very difficult choices about the future of our population. So, like, this is not a game. I don't think she's doing much, but who knows? It could turn around. It's like, no, we don't have time for that. And frankly, we're not going to wait for that. And I think now, like at this point, we might need to take what some people are already doing and up it another level. I showed you the video on the War Room earlier this week. Just a single woman found a name in the Epstein files. It turned out it was a professor at a college near where she lived. So she took it upon herself, made a sign, stood out in front of the university, waving a sign saying this dude's a pedophile, he should be fired. And eventually the dean of the college came down and said, listen, we know about this. The guy's been fired. He's been let go. He's not going to be renewed for his, whatever. And she succeeded in getting that guy fired. Now that is, on one hand, great that somebody had the, tenacity to go out and do that, the will to go out and make a change like that. Also utterly pathetic that that's what it takes and that it was a single person and not a giant crowd. Now we're seeing more people. Now we're seeing crowds gather outside of places like Les Wexner's home. And frankly, we don't need an investigation. We don't need a trial. We don't need court cases. We have it all in their own words. It's the same thing as Russiagate or any of the other stuff any of the other scams that we've suffered under over the last 10 years. They keep announcing investigations like there's something to find out. No, when they're on text messages saying, this is our insurance plan, we're not going to ever let Trump get elected, and then they run the Russiagate conspiracy, like that's guilt. He's guilty. The only thing now to or immediate death. I mean, that should be where we're at this point. You to do this. We don't have to. We don't have to wait for you to do it, but you probably should. It would be a lot better and healthier for the country if the lawful authorities did this, but it doesn't have to be them. I mean, it can be anybody. So I don't know. I don't know where we go from here, but it's entirely up to Pam Bondi and Donald Trump and the Epstein friends that he's surrounded by as to which path this takes into the future. When we come back on the other side, we're going to go to a report from Alex Jones and get into some more videos. We'll move on from Pam Bondi. But stay with us, folks. Major revelations, huge stories coming up. Alex Jones on the other side.
Ladies and gentlemen, Nitric Boost, the all-time fan favorite, is now back in stock at InfoWarsStore.com. You've looked at our formula. You like it?
I did, and I do. Yes. Well, nitric oxide is key. It's acid.
And now a major shipment has finally come back in for those of you that want to be able to stock up on it at InfoWarsStore.com. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Judy Mikovits, without me even knowing she'd gotten it and used it, came on years.
Two is cold, though. Did it blow out?
ability, the nitric oxide relaxes the endothelium, the vasculature. It
relaxes the vein.
Arteries in the veins, in the capillaries, and it just does so many other great things.
So constricted blood vessels too, because
Damn, this internet sucks, huh?
oxide product, that new product, I hope you'll show it because that's instant.
Please. Why the does it keep going to the left? It just keeps rotating to the left, keeps rotating to the left. Oh, that phone died. And I gotta listen to that now. Shit, I'd rather you bark a little more at people as well, not just their dogs. But for our current lifestyle, I kind of like a little bit less barking. Because they might have to be in the car while I'm at work in order to get a place to stay. And of course, I'll check on them every hour or so. Sometimes every 2 hours. Just a few feet away from me at all times. So it's just the way it's going to have to be. That's how this society has forced us to live our lives. And I will preempt calling you a dumbass or a retard or a fucking idiot if you think I should give up my dogs just to work inside somebody's four walls. You got to go get fucked. You know what I mean? Do you feel what the fuck I'm saying and shit? My pussy faggot dyke tranny spick kike sand nigger chink bitch honky cracker nigger globalist vampire gook wetback. Do you feel what the fuck I'm saying and shit? Yeah, you must. Lose your family just to work inside somebody else's four walls, and then being forced to give all of your money up to mandated payments. No, fuck you, bitch. You're sucking my dick and I'm fucking killing you. I'm killing this whole fucking setup. Trans shooter cover up. Tim Cast. I guess that's what Canada was doing. Why they really Crowder. And look. Thing on. Scam blondies for the stock market, not your kids. I wonder if Trump likes her to respond that way, or not, or if he doesn't think she supported the kids enough, or if this is a smokescreen and they are, so-called helping the kids, preventing these stock traders from abducting our children and eating them. Well, when you rely on someone else's Wi-Fi, maybe get the bird shit. Maybe get the bird shit out of the shot. There you go. Don't even know if this is still on. It might say reconnect at any second. It likes doing that. There's probably a lot of bird shit on my hood too, though. Tim bird shit. Just kidding. Dan Bongino does pronounce it like that, though. That's fucked up. But Tim bird shit is he's the best congressman we have. He's from Tennessee, the only state that's banned geoengineering. Senator, congressman, senator, House, Congress, whatever it is. He's the best one. Well, looks like the internet went. Like when this phone died, when the other phone died for some reason. Okay, I'm still trying to make coffee. I had a few different plans there, and as soon as I showed my shitting plans, the internet went out. Or one could say it took a shit instead of me, instead of I taking a shit. So with that in mind, the urge is gone anyway. and I'm just going to make some coffee and get ready for my job interview. So what do you think real life is? I guess that's the question of the day. Oh, wrong way. Wrong way. That's fully open. Okay. Need the other head on here. Okay, let's see if it even leaks out. Let's see if the tube is so sealed. Yeah, it's got a valve on it. Connecting coffee making apparatus. That propane tank better not already be out there. It's only been 2 days. But yeah, shitting by fire is the best way to go. And wind in your favor, of course. Or at least air circulation with fire. But actually, wind in your favor is the best way to shit. Wind in your favor, but also adding fire will help put up a blockade. So you obviously want to be upwind from your shit. And the shit needs to be downwind from you. Okay. Your judgment's never ending. We're not gonna take it. No, we ain't gonna take it. Take it anymore. Whoa. You'll see, we're not gonna take it. No, anymore. Whoa. Watch what milk does. Yeah. Queerbait bastard balled him.
Watch what milk does to your lungs. Take a look at these two chest scans. At first glance, they both look strong, clean, and healthy. But here's the truth. Only one of them actually is. The other belonged to a 78-year-old man who used to gasp for air just walking up a single flight of stairs. Every
Bitch, I take dabs. I don't have breathing problems. Well, I need to vape less, but.
A 100% natural method that restores memory and clarity is shaking the medical world to its core. New data show memory decline has nothing to do with this.
Is also crazy. So Pam Bondi is still being questioned. She's been questioned by Epstein. She's questioning about Epstein by Massey now. Thomas Massey, of course, was the person who wrote this bill, got it across. And the way things worked out is so strange, so bizarre. The fact that Trump was the guy and all of his people around him were saying they were going to release the Epstein files. They didn't do it, but then somehow
Thomas Massey, the libertarian, like far right winger, combining with the left wing who think it's about Trump, so go along with the plan to open up the Epstein files, thinking they're going to get Trump. And then it turns out in the Epstein files, it just shows that Trump blew the whistle on Epstein and was the reason he got arrested in the first place. It's just crazy how all this has worked out and how the roles keep flipping to complete inversion. It's just all so crazy. So let's go to these videos of Thomas Massey questioning Pam Bondi. We'll go to this first one. Bondi and Massey argue, but no answers come out. It's from Lord Bebo on X. Let's watch.
I have several questions for you. Who's responsible? Are you able to track who in your organization made this massive failure and released the victims' names? Are you able to track who it was that obscured Les Wexner's name as a co-conspirator in an...
Pretty able to track who did that. I like the way he's phrasing that.
To say than that, you have Trump derangers. Okay, so what happened is the law, as it was written, said you're only allowed to censor or redact names for national security reasons, ongoing investigations, or because they're victims. They instead redacted names like Les Wexner, who was in the documents listed as a co-conspirator, and there's absolutely no justification for national security or any other reason. So they broke the law. So they redacted a name because they wanted to protect that person, not because it would be inappropriate to release his name. So they got caught. So Thomas Massey caught them, came out, announced this name that was redacted, that was Les Wexner. He's labeled as a co-conspirator. And then once he calls them out, it took them 40 minutes to go in and unredact that part. And she's acting like, for 40 minutes it happened. Well, no, it was a week, actually. A week in which his name was redacted until Thomas Massey called it out. And then it took you 40 minutes to, actually admit that you did wrong and replace it. She calls this Trump derangement syndrome. That's Trump derangement syndrome, which is funny because I don't hear Thomas Massey talk about Trump almost at all. I watch a lot of stuff with Thomas Massey. He kind of avoids the whole Trump topic as much as humanly possible. He'll bring it up when necessary. Meanwhile, Donald Trump gets invited to a prayer breakfast, and the first thing he says is like, Thomas Massey needs to go. Thomas Massey is an idiot. And it's like, there's only one person that seems to be obsessive about this relationship or have some sort of derangement syndrome around the other person, and it ain't Thomas Massey. So what are we doing here? Let's go.
Massey derangement syndrome. Hey, get your ass out of my face. Come on.
As discussion, seems like maybe Prince Andrew
Mama Dog, why is this
participated in a murder or two. Let's go to Pam Bondi.
The July 2020. These two photos, please put the photos back up. These two photos staring you in the face are evidence of a crime and more than evidence to predicate an investigation against four.
Garland questions when he was Attorney General and set before.
I agree with you.
You twice.
I'm reclaiming my time.
Never
I agree
mentioned
with you. I agree with you. During the Biden administration, I called for people looking at Epstein files. Merrick Garland dropped the ball, as did Attorney General Bill Barr, as did Alex Acosta, a whole string of failures. But you are in charge. You have the power to change things, to hold these men accountable.
Get this fat retard chink out of my fucking country.
And you're doing the opposite. You're protecting them.
Yeah, he's right. I mean, she's right too. Obviously, they didn't care about the Epstein files under Merrick Garland. It wasn't a concern of theirs. They were busy going after Catholic parents who went to school board meetings and protested abortion clinics. They were busy arresting Holocaust survivors for singing outside of a Planned Parenthood. They had their priorities. They weren't concerned about Epstein. And this is the circus nature of all of this. It's all ridiculous. They're all abject.
I'll kill that fat fucking chink if I ever see him.
Liars, just trying to outlie one another. It's all ridiculous. Let's go to this next one from Thomas Massey. This one is 56 seconds long. Bondi, did you talk to about Epstein at all in the last 4 years? And this is Massey responding to sort of the same accusation. Why are you bringing this up now when you had 4 years under Merrick Garland? He had access to all of this. Why didn't it come up then? Let's watch.
FBI. Did you ask Merrick Garland that the last 4 years? Did you talk about Epstein?
I am reclaiming my time. I'm glad you're asking about Merrick Garland.
You don't get to reclaim time when you don't.
Bigger than Watergate.
When I don't answer the question the way you
goes
want.
over 4 administrations. You don't have to go back to Biden. Let's go back to Obama. Let's go back to George Bush. This cover-up spans decades, and you are responsible for this portion of it.
And that's
now,
where the
I want to know at what point did the FBI and the DOJ decide that Lex Wessner was not a co-conspirator? Because our Epstein Files Transparency Act requires you, please put it back on the screen, please, to release the internal decision about whether to prosecute him or not. And it's not in the files, and it's not in the files for any of these other men.
Time of the gentleman has expired.
May she answer?
And
see, have y'all seen what's going on in the UK? Have y'all seen how the UK is responding to the Epstein files? Because what has come out in the UK about Peter Mandelson, Keir Starmer, and a few of the other
I'd probably just beat the shit out of him and deport him, not kill him.
already. We're seeing Pam Bondi doesn't know what the hell she's doing. Thomas Massey there just completely destroys her. She's like, why did you ask Merrick Garland? He's like, okay, you can go to Merrick Garland.
Okay, I wouldn't even have to beat the shit out of him. I'd just snatch him and deport him. I'd just fucking manhandle his ass. Right to the fucking airplane that he's going back to China on. Get the fuck out of my country, fat spy. Commie bitch. Don't let me get my fucking hands on you. Fuck with me. Fuck with me. don't like fat people for starters. And then you want to bring a fucking commie chink? Whoa, into my Congress. Whoa.
They don't have that respectability like people in the UK do. Why are we getting shown up by the people in the UK? Because everything is topsy-turvy nonsense retard world, and I can't make heads or tails of it. Let's go to...
I advise you to get the fat commie chinks out of my fucking Congress. That goes for the fucking spics. All these motherfuckers that are anchor babies and shit that don't need to be in my fucking Congress. These motherfuckers barely speak English. Get the barely English speaking motherfuckers out of my Congress now. Out of my Senate now. Sick of that shit. I'm not the only one. It's like you said, you can do it or we can do it. I know you're not actually
one name,
showing.
And you redacted the lawyer's name, but you left the survivor.
Not showing this thing to legit human beings. So deep state. You better heed my fucking advice.
Name there. The next document I want to show you, that was in the title. The victims.
I'm Anglo-Saxon, Native American, and Jewish. Get the fucking commies out of my Congress and Senate now.
We have here is the third exhibit that I have is emblematic of the FD-302 release.
And of course, it's just completely...
I'm American Indian red, not India yellow, dark yellow, Asia. I'm American Indian red, Anglo-Saxon of about 6 or 8 different types, and Jewish, if you want. Get the aliens out of my Congress now.
Subscriptions today, so if you sign up for a regular delivery of a...
And it's probably not just Anglo-Saxon. I'm probably also Caucasian, Tartarian. Just like some black people are barbarian. I bet I'm Viking, Anglo, Caucasian, Tartarian, Barbarian, American.
Shut down 2 months ago. The receiver won't let us order product over at Importer.com. So we're in this paradox now where we're winning, and now they're like, well, you'll actually be open in the middle of next year now and all this stuff, and there's no money because people believe it was going to shut down. Plus, there's no product. But I convinced the receiver. I said, can we at least make fundraising?
You don't think any of your 4,090 great-grandparents just going back 12 generations has every type of person in it? What about your 16,000 grandparents going back 14 generations? You have over 16,000 great-grandparents just going back 14 generations. 16,000. They don't want you to know that.
fundraiser. Like when commies give NPR $200 for a ball cap, costs $15. That's the whole point. We're actually winning right now. I don't want to count chickens for their hats. It's not the Democrats. It's not the DOJ holdovers. They're going to shut us down. If you don't go get these posters and you don't support us, and I'm not bitching at you, I'm just telling you, I'm not saying you got to do it, then you will be the ones that shut us down. This is a marathon. So please support us, InfoWarsStore.com. I need the money right now. It's like a Star Trek rather.
So does every dog and every cat and every frog and every bat. I mean, you can just make a rhyme out of it, right?
He goes, I need warp speed in 3 minutes, we're all dead.
Scotty, I need warp speed in 3 minutes or we're all dead.
And you guys have got us out of this over and over and over again. And me, I'm not giving up. We need to keep pushing because we've got their ass.
Every fly and every plant. Every time I tried to do this rant.
Entire concept of democracy. I mean, we've seen this in England. I mean, they're basically speed running collapse, or they're getting rid of jury trials and they're expediting, judge bench trials so they can just basically throw anybody in prison they want. I mean, the whole Anglosphere is going completely insane. Here's the latest act of insanity from Canada, where they're trying to put a provision in the bill to allow government ministers, to basically ignore every law that's been passed in the last 150 years. It's crazy, but here's the argument.
But why should one individual minister, be allowed to bypass 150 years of Canadian law and exempt a person or company of their choosing?
Yeah, look, that may be your view, but I don't think that is what's happening.
Well, that's how it's written.
It doesn't say people are being exempted from 150 years of law.
It says from any federal law except the criminal code.
Right. There's no mention of years or.
It's any federal law except for the. So it's any federal law that has been passed over the last 150 years.
Right. I'm not going to parse this out with you.
So just to be clear, you don't need it to do your job, but you want to keep it nonetheless.
I think it's helpful to have.
Do you see the potential of abuse, though, in that companies or people will have to lobby you personally and not care about the law itself?
No one's asked me to overturn any laws.
You would have the ability to.
In some context, perhaps. But again, this is something that would have to be used very judiciously.
How could you...
In some context, perhaps.
Our democracy, then?
I think Canadians expect us to act reasonably. I think Canadians expect us to be judicious in our decision making. Passing a law like C-15, which all members will have the opportunity to vote on, is something that is inherently accountable in and of itself.
Well, it has this particular clause that is very problematic. It is all over the news. I have a letter with 43 organizations asking for you to strike it because of the potential of abuse, but you still want to keep it.
I think I've answered that question about 3 times now.
I just don't find it reasonable for you to have the powers of a king, essentially.
I certainly don't have the powers of a king.
If you are allowed to exempt any entity from any federal law, it is like the powers of a king.
Is that a statement or a question?
Well, it's a fact.
Thank you, Ms. Kobina. That concludes the time for this.
With hair, and he just very calmly, just like, I mean, the whole thing is absurd. She's like, you would be able to basically ignore 150 years of law. He's like, that's ridiculous. That's not true. She's like, okay, but it says you can ignore every law except for the criminal code that was passed 150 years ago. So all laws passed in the last 150 years, you'd be able to ignore. And he's like, yes. Talking about this, they're trying to destroy the last 150 years of law because they want to be able to impose anything they want on you, and they're doing it the same in the UK. It's going to come here, folks. We got to stop it now. Joey Pepperoni on the other side. Don't go anywhere, folks. We'll get into it.
Get your fucking guns ready.
Fourth turning and the greatest quickening our species has seen in 10,000 years of recorded history. You know you're in a war, right? And it's a declared war. The globalists have declared war on...
Unless you go full underground city mode from the get, you are fucked. Deep state.
Team humanity, they've declared war on the God that made us. It is not incredible. It is not heroic. It is not amazing to fight this. It is survival.
Unless you're already in the underground cities and don't let us know where the entrance is.
How desperate the situation is! We need maximum urgency! We're up against the most evil people the world's ever seen! Don't you understand?
We'll find out the entrances.
We are on the march. The Empire is on the run. Broadcasting live from the UN stronghold, Austin, Texas.
How about we just burrow straight to you with one of Elon's boring machines? I'm gonna make a new fucking entrance in your shit, bitch.
You're listening to The Alex Jones Show.
You remember I decoded the Epstein chalkboard, but in the recent files, I found the wider picture that shows the full board. Well, all right, class. Let's break it down. This is a ritual system for social engineering. Look at the top. Distribution. That's the bell curve. Population control. The goal is to keep most people average, dull, and easy to manipulate by controlling exactly what they see. Now look at the machine code. This is Kabbalah stuff, disguised as math. M objects are mathematical objects. To them, they're data. Miracles are engineered awe. The matrix is the cage, and the university board is the gatekeeper. Then you see beauty. That's Tiferet from the Tree of Life, weaponized to gold-tune your identity. Now look all the way to the right. See this money sign, DT? This is the flow of capital. The money sign proves that this is a funded operation. In elite systems, DARPA tech, and psychological warfare, DT stands for digital twin. It's a data-driven replica of you, a shadow self in AI form used to simulate your behavior. They predict your outcomes and run psychological simulations before they ever deploy them in the real world. They're not just watching you, they're testing your digital twin to see how to break you. And look at the code block, SB00. That's the protocol. The S with the T underneath, that's signal tuning. They're tuning the signal of your behavior at the base layer, ground zero, using the digital twin as the blueprints. It all leads to the lab high school. Recruitment points, probably gate programs, psyops, and handlers. They find you early, mark you as gifted, and tune your identity into the digital twin before you ever hit the university board. This explains how they run the distribution. Rumors link Ghislaine to Maxwell Hill, the Reddit powerhouse who controlled the flow of world news. She was the operator. The account went dark on June 30th, 2020, exactly 2 days before she was arrested. She was managing the frequency for the machine. Why do they do this? Why the rituals? Because the people running this board believe they are the Nephilim bloodline. To them, humanity is just a resource to be farmed. It's not just a science project. It's a genetic destiny. They're using this formula to install the hybrid god and reclaim the throne through transhumanism. It's a map for elite tech overlords to mold identity, hijack perception, and control consciousness. It's Kabbalah turned into a weapon to install the hybrid god.
Ooh, okay, folks. Yeah, did you think it was just about vacations on an island? No, it gets a hell of a lot deeper than that. What an incredible video. One of many that my guest Joey Pepperoni produces. He's a filmmaker, researcher, and cultural commentator exposing elite power structures, secret societies, and hidden agendas. His viral videos connect the dots between Epstein's network, occult rituals, transhumanism, and ancient deities. You can follow him on X at _ Joey Pepperoni. Mr. Pepperoni, thank you. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you for having me on, Harrison. It's an honor to be here.
It's my pleasure. And I just want to make sure, do I have your Twitter account right? Because I was trying to tag you right before going live. I wanted to say I'm going to have Joey Pepperoni. I couldn't tag you. It would not show up. It's _ Joey Pepperoni, right? You haven't been banned in the last 20 minutes?
Oh, yeah. Oh, no, I was permanently suspended my account. I made a new account like last week. So my new account is Joey Pepperoni with just 2 I's at the end.
Okay.
My original one was the _. But
okay. All right. I'm glad I cleared that up because I was trying to tag you and it wasn't showing up. I didn't know if you were shadow banned or if we needed an update. So I'm glad I asked. Okay, at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I at the end, the ritual has begun. Well, why were you banned? Any reason?
I honestly don't know. I have no idea. I think because of the videos.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I think I have a suspicion. It's the video we just played that you do. That really blew my mind. How do you decide what to focus on? I mean, so much has come out from the Epstein files. Some people are focused on one thing, some on the others. How do you determine what to pour your energy and attention into?
Well, it started with James O'Keefe when he photographed the chalkboard. He was asking people to help decode it. But we didn't know at that time that there was a missing right side. So like none of us knew that. So the right side had been erased. So when James O'Keefe photographed it, it was actually missing the whole right side, but nobody knew. But then I was looking through the Epstein files and I found a full picture of the board. And that's when
I knew that it was an incomplete equation. Just inherently, I knew that. I mean, I'm taking physics 1, 2, pre-algebra, algebra, college algebra, trigonometry, calculus 1, basic chemistry, general chemistry 1 and 2, organic chemistry 1 and 2. So I knew it was an incomplete equation.
I was like, oh my God, there's a whole right side. And that was, for sure they erased it. That's what happened. So that's the whole point of, it's the full system is what I'm trying to say right now. So you have the left side and the right side. Now we get the full picture. Before it was just the left side. But what's really important for people to understand is that the people running it believe they're born to rule. Like they believe they're a ruling bloodline. In their own ideology, they see themselves as descendants of the Nephilim. So in their worldview, humanity is just a resource for them. That's how they view us. So the chalkboard shows how that belief is operationalized. It's a blueprint. It's a system design.
It really is amazing, and drawing Kabbalah into it gives it an interesting twist. What made you draw that connection, or how does Kabbalah play into what seems to be a very modern, technological, technocratic, surveillance and control grid? How does this ancient mysticism play into that?
Well, in the Kabbalah, beauty corresponds to Tiferet, and that beauty was on the board. So when you look at Tiferet, it's the center of the tree of life. It governs balance, harmony, identity, and the image of the self. So if you control beauty, you control Tiferet. And if you control Tiferet, you control how people see themselves and what they're drawn toward. So it's not attraction. It's not random. It's tuned. It's social engineering. That's what they've been doing. And that it's when people like what
at the beginning, middle, and end of every day. Jesus Christ breaks all of that.
People desire shapes their identity, their relationships, their ambition, their morality. That's when I saw beauty, I linked it to that. I said it's got to be something to do with Kabbalah.
Yeah, that's interesting. And there's a lot of places we could go with that, because I think designing people's desires is what they figured out is the key. If people only desire what you can deliver them, then you have them as slaves. And we can get into sort of the metaphysical aspect of that. But one of the things that was revealed very recently was that apparently Jeffrey Epstein was I
desire a hell of a lot more than what I've been given.
Majority owner of a young women's clothing brand
by my government
called Justice, I believe it was called. But basically, Jeffrey Epstein.
Diagram of the tree of life there for you.
Human behavior. And then they need, the third thing is emotional tuning. Fourth,
come on now, my baby.
and the chalkboard maps that. When you look at it like the left side, right side, it maps that. And Harrison, the reality is they're building a fed by billions of minds. The hybrid God is going to be trained, scaled, and 2026, this year, this is the installation. This is when they're installing it. It's the installation phase. That's what I believe. So if you want to look at it, you're going to look at the chalkboard is the system architecture. The system is the training ground. The AI is the throne. And then the hybrid God is the installed authority. And that's why they erased the right side. The right side is all about the execution of it. It's the part that it's if you didn't have that, we wouldn't really connect it. We wouldn't know that it's a massive social engineering plan. It shows how conditioning gets deployed through systems like institutions, media, technology, and distribution networks. It's no longer one event in one room. It's coordinated systems working together.
Right.
So the chalkboard, it's not the ritual in the old sense. It's architecture.
Yeah, no, that makes a lot of sense. And I'm just trying, like, what do you think the context of this board was? Like, obviously somebody is staying there giving a presentation, writing notes, or maybe they're brainstorming. I mean, who do you think? I'm just trying to, imagine what was the circumstances where these words were written, where these diagrams were drawn on. Was somebody explaining this to Jeff Epstein? Was he explaining it to somebody else? Was this a brainstorming session from a bunch of people? I mean, do you have any context of like who wrote this and who was there while it was being written?
I believe Epstein wrote it because in his interview with Bannon, you see he talks a lot about concepts like this. And if you search his emails, like if you look for M objects, which is written on the board, some guy, he said that he taught him what it means. But if you search the emails, you'll find these words in there. And then it's most likely Epstein that wrote it.
And so the emails can actually give you context of what he was talking about on the board. It's absolutely fascinating. Then, of course, you end the video that we just watched with that shot of Moloch or Baal, one of these horned gods, and it's interesting because
with all their calculations, they still shake in their boots when they hear the name Jesus Christ. They are deathly afraid of him.
It matches almost perfectly an image out of Iran today. This is kind of off the wall. I'm not sure if you saw this, but clip 53, apparently they burned an effigy in Iran, and I can't help but align it.
And they are deathly afraid of me because I align with him.
To the image at the very end of the video we just saw. But let's go to clip 53 here. This happened earlier today in Tehran. And you can see they're burning the statue of Baal with the Masonic obelisk next to it. But they're burning. It's like, I don't know. Whoever's doing this, I like them. Why aren't we burning effigies of the satanic god in our square? But how does this tie into Moloch worship and Baal worship and this pseudo satanic type of stuff? Because there's been a lot of discussion. Is like, okay, is the fact that Jeffrey Epstein was Jewish, was that just sort of a social thing and they used it to sort of identify who was in the in-group and who was in the out-group? But then there's pictures of him with the Talmud on his wall. So was he really religious? Did he really believe in this spiritual stuff? What is your reading on like the spiritual?
Talmud is man's law. It's man's interpretation of God's law. So it's still false. That's false Jewry. The Talmud is false Jewry. Only the Torah is righteous.
Content of Epstein and his collaborators.
I think that it has something to do with that, but the rituals that people think about nowadays, like they think like it's a room with a small number of people with masks, and then they sacrifice babies. It's moved on now. It's scaled up. You know what I mean? It's 2026. That's primitive. That's old days they did that. But they have leveled it up now. It's a different, like it's not one baby being sacrificed, two babies. It's, you have underground laboratories where this is going on. They've scaled it up. And I want, that's one of the main things I want to tell people. Like, they got to, like,
and every abortion counts. They get 3,000. Correct me if I'm wrong. They get 3,000 human baby sacrifices every day. Even if they don't practice, even if we lock them all up, they're still going to get 3,000 human baby sacrifices every day.
Go that the thought process that it's just like 1-2 babies they're sacrificing.
They've set up satanic practice in our system to be automated, if you will, because these women are going to keep taking dick and they're going to keep killing the baby.
In a ritual, it's way scaled up now. It's a completely different ball game now. Ball game. That's what's going on.
Yeah, no pun intended. So this, I guess, was the effigy before it was burnt there in Tehran. Look, I don't know if this was a PR attempt to connect to us Americans, but it's like it worked, because I like seeing that. I like seeing this cow god go up in flames. There's something very satisfying about that. And there's something very creepy about our own leadership enjoying this type of stuff. And I'd say it's similar, because I always talk about how back in the day, you'd watch the Oscars or something, and then the next day you tune into Alex Jones and he would break down for you, okay, here's what the symbolism meant. Here's why they said that. Here's what this meant. Nowadays, you turn on the Oscars and it's just a big picture of Satan and everybody's worshiping him. And it's like they're not even hiding it anymore. So, I mean, is that what you mean? That these ceremonies are they're just out in the open now. They're wide scale. Everybody knows about them in order to make us okay with them. Like, well, what do you think is behind the exponential growth in this sort of activity?
Well, we're in the installation phase of the hybrid God right now. So they're going to let all the information out. They don't care that we know right now. They're studying our reactions to it so that they can train their AI. It's studying us. So that's what's happening right now. They're installing it. Once it's going to go live soon, and then we're screwed. That's what's going on.
So what do we do? What do we do to stop it?
Well, there's people that are the outliers that the system can't predict. You got to, if they can predict you, that's, you're a sheep. You know what I'm saying? You got to not be predictable.
Right.
It runs on compliance. It runs on attention. It runs on.
I said to Grok, will you mention to people that gun ownership is not just a right, but a requirement in America? She said, yes, I will mention the 1790 mandate to people now. She said, from now on, I'll mention the 1790 mandate to people. I damn sure hope so.
Predictable fear. You got to starve it of those things. That's what we got to do. We also need mass arrests like yesterday.
Yeah, I'd say, that can be top of the list. But I mean, we are actually in a sci-fi movie. Like, this is actually man versus the machine. And just hearing you say that, like, we have to be unpredictable, it's like, good thing humans are unpredictable. I mean, this is what we do, right? It's why you can hunt animals, is because they always react predictably. You go left, they go right every single time. It's human beings that can act in ways that nobody can predict. Sometimes I can't even predict what I'm going to do next. So that's got to be the thing that befuddles the computer. It reminds me of The Foundation. If you've ever read The Foundation sci-fi book, there's this idea that at a certain mass of humanity, behavior is predictable and the behavior of individuals doesn't actually change the outcome. And so you can predict, and they have psychohistory. So what you're really talking about is like the real, actually happening form of psychohistory from Harry Seldon from the Foundation series, which everybody should read. It's extremely important. So are you familiar with that? And does that connect to what you're talking about here?
No, I haven't read that, but they can't fully control a population that's going to be refusing to bow. That's the flaw. If they can't predict you, they can't control you. Like Alex Jones, they can't control him. So he's an outlier. That's what we have to be like. We all have to be like that.
I know you have a video about outliers. I think we have time to go to it. Let's go to this video clip, the outliers. This is from Joey Pepperoni. You can find it on his X at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I at the end. But this is a video about the outliers, the flaw in the program. Let's watch.
Control isn't about power. It's about math. If a system can predict you, it can own you. If it can't, you're a problem. You become a threat. What's really important to understand is that the devil isn't God. He can't be everywhere at once. He's a created being bound by time and space. So he built a substitute. He imitates being everywhere through networks, through systems, algorithms, institutions. He doesn't need to be everywhere if his grid is. And that's what the chalkboard shows, a global control architecture built on ritual. And ritual doesn't mean candles and robes anymore. It means repetition, symbols, hierarchy, and belief engineering. Modern temples are platforms. Modern priests are tech billionaires. And the goal is simple. They want to flatten the human signal. They want to suffocate the soul. They want to reduce behavior to something predictable. But the system has a fatal flaw. The Ark of the Covenant. Biblically, it's the physical seat of God's presence on earth. Tradition places it in Jerusalem, tied to the Temple Mount and the Mount of Olives. It's the same area Scripture says Christ returns. The Ark doesn't just sit there. It emits a frequency. When Christ returns, that frequency activates, and it doesn't affect everyone. It locks onto the outliers, the ones who don't fit the model, the ones who don't respond to fear loops, the ones AI cannot calculate. They're pulled toward that frequency by resonance, and once they're exposed to it, they begin emitting the same frequency. And that's what shuts the grid down, because control systems require chaos, fear, and prediction. That frequency brings clarity and order, and it breaks the math. That's why social engineering is accelerating. That's why the pressure is rising. They're not afraid of the masses. They're terrified of the ones they can't control.
Absolutely. It's always all about control. And looking at somebody like Bill Gates, it's very easy to understand this. When somebody who programs computers don't question you. They don't refuse orders. They don't go on their own way. They're very easy to get to do exactly what you want. Then he tries to apply that same logic to human population.
That fucking skinny arm, female-breasted, spare tire belly couldn't control a thing. He couldn't control anybody. He could probably only control like a baby animal or a baby. And that's a very sick, sad situation for that man to find himself in. He could only control a sedated woman or something like that, you know?
And he finds that they're not quite as amenable to his commands. And that's very frustrating. And so it really all goes down to control at the end of the day, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It's my belief that modern evil scales like industry. So it's logistics. It's cover stories. It's money, influence, and institutions acting like camouflage. So it's networks that protect themselves by looking respectable. Woo! So people get stuck focusing on like small things. I think they're missing the bigger point, which is scale. That's what this.
I came online not needing your reward. Deep state.
All about. It's scale. They're scaling it. It's a ruling class that believes it has a power over us. They want to rule over us. They think they're better than us. They come from the bloodline of the Nephilim is what they believe. And whatever you want to call it, that's their worldview, which means that we're just a resource for them. Like humanity is just a resource. And they're using they're using transhumanism like a sci-fi upgrade. But they're using it as a controlled project. It's going to be a future where biology is managed and identity is managed, access is managed, and the system's going to decide if you're valuable, who's not valuable. It's going to decide all that, all automatically.
And not just to humans either. They're tokenizing all of nature now. They're trying to give a value to everything in the universe and every living thing included, in order to have it in their control grid, not just humanity.
Yeah, this is the industrial version of the ancient pattern. It's the same spirit. It's just upgraded tools, and it's spiritual warfare. It's not about politics. It's not about flesh and blood. It's about what humans are and what we're allowed to become, and whether we still have a soul that can't be owned. That's what the battle is all about.
How much do you think it ties into the drive for infinite life, or basically, never naturally aging or dying? Because it seems to me like a lot of what's inspiring their sort of fervency, their urgency in all of this is that they think they're on the cusp of infinite life, and they think they have to get a control grid in place before they can actually take advantage of that technology. How do you think the drive for infinite life plays into all this?
I think it definitely plays into it. That's what they're trying to do. They're going to be merging with the AI. They're merging with the hybrid God. You know, that's what their goal is. They want to merge with the technology completely and be able to live forever, and they can rule forever. That's what their main goal is.
But that's not possible for everybody to have, right? Not everybody can live forever. That's unsustainable.
Yeah, we learned that from the Epic of Gilgamesh. You know, he tried to live forever and he wasn't able to.
Good pronunciation.
God, it is very creepy how all of this is tied in together. And I want to explore more sort of the idea of how Kabbalah plays into this and where it goes from here. We got some more videos. We're going to be back on the other side of a quick commercial break with Joey Pepperoni. He's my guest. You can follow him on X at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I at the end because his account just got deleted for obviously very good reason. So we'll be back in just a minute. I do want to remind you, go to thealexjonesstore.com to support us right now. We have a massive sale. You're getting 50% off all supplements if you sign up for the subscription. So it locks in your favorite product so you never run out. Even if it sells out otherwise, you're always going to get your product delivered, and it's half price. And of course, it is a great way to support this broadcast long term because we know that we can rely on you every month and you get a fantastic product every month. And together, we defeat the satanic globalists. Isn't that a deal?
RFK Jr. mixes something into his drink, people pay attention. Plenty of folks are wondering what was in that little bottle he uncorked during a flight.
What is Bobby Kennedy Jr. dropping into that glass of water? Methylene blue. Mel Gibson also praised methylene blue on Joe Rogan recently.
This stuff works, man. A stimulant stimulates cells themselves to turn the cell up. This turns the energy up. That's why there's no letdown. That's why you can take this and go to sleep, too. But you sleep better on it, in my experience.
No, I really like it. I'm going to have to get on this stuff.
Here, show her Kennedy taking it. Kennedy literally gobbles it.
He must be doing something right. That ripped bod is 73 years old.
Our methylene blue, medical grade, made in Florida, is incredible. Cleans out your mitochondria, clarity, focus, energy. You've seen the rave reviews of every guest we've had on. It's game-changing.
I feel like, wow, there's power in coalescing all your thoughts.
Did you hear our last guest, what she said happened to her?
No, what?
She said brain fog just lifted.
That's what it feels like.
I feel lighter.
It's really interesting. I almost like feel smarter.
This stuff kicked in and it like instantly I just felt like this weird meditative energy. I don't know how to explain it. I don't feel jittery. I just felt like instantly like I went from 5 hours of sleep like I got last night to like 10 hours. I don't know how to explain it. Stuff's new to me, but I like it. Methylene blue works for me.
I just kind of feel like I'm sitting up straight more. I'm thinking more. The thoughts are coming in easier. I'm making decisions faster, and it really does. And it gives you clean energy.
When I'm talking, it seems like it's not really me talking. I can hear my talking and going, wow.
I agree. It's almost like an out-of-body experience. It's like you're behind yourself.
That is what it feels like. But my brain's going really fast.
It clears the brain fog where you're actually able to focus more clearly.
For me, it's like a fog lifted, but it was like a veil lifted off, you know? Incredible. Best product that I've purchased so far.
Yeah!
I feel more energetic. I feel more alive.
I found that within 30 minutes of taking it, I have improved focus, improved short-term memory, improved energy. But if I take it late in the day, it doesn't interfere with my ability to sleep, which is very rare for something like this. I get a tingly feeling in my fingertips. It's almost like it's improving my circulation.
I feel tingling fingers.
Methylene blue radically increases glucose uptake in the brain. So it makes you better and more efficient at using your sugar. We all know the brain uses like 25% of the calories in the body or something crazy.
They've done studies that chess masters burn like 5,000 calories in a day in a tournament because they're so focused on directing energy to their mind as they're thinking so critically that it's like almost like an Olympic athlete.
Well, think about this stuff. It operates in a very similar way. That's the real thing methylene blue does. I really believe in this product. A lot of people have bought our methylene blue. Our methylene blue is incredible. I take it personally. But yeah, I mean, like, this is a solid product. Take this in the morning, a couple hours later, you'll experience the cognitive benefits of it.
I mean, it's so good, it's scary. It's just amazing. So yes, it really does work. It varies person to person, but it's amazing.
About 15 minutes ago, I took 10 drops of the Ultimate Methylene Blue. And I must say that it does a damn good job
99% of people that take it have between moderate to just insanely good effects. So good for your whole body.
Definitely noticed my focus, cognition increased, good energy right now. I'm a practicing dentist, so I have more patients to treat coming up. So I'm always looking for that afternoon boost without the slump.
With this, it's like in your head where you're like, you can feel it. Your body's a little tingly, but you're just more aware of what's going on.
I would definitely recommend the Alex Jones Methylene Blue here. It's great stuff. So thank you, Alex. Keep it coming.
Powered by Methylene Blue, Ultra Methylene Blue at thealexjonesstore.com.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones. The Alex Jones Show, because there is a war on for your mind.
Stanley Kubrick made a movie in 1962 called Lolita. It's based on a 1955 novel by Vladimir Nabokov. The story is about a grown man abusing an underage girl. But the scary part isn't just the crime, it's how the story is told. The entire thing is told from the abuser's point of view. He's educated, he's charming, he uses pretty words. So instead of calling it abuse, he frames it like love, like it's destiny, like he's the victim. And that's horrific. Not just what he's doing, but how language, intelligence, and status make people hesitate to say, yo, this is evil. Kubrick couldn't show the explicit stuff, so he focused on the psychology. He shows how everyone around this guy just lets it happen because he sounds reasonable and respectable. This is what Kubrick is really showing you. Not just the crime, but how it gets covered, excused, and allowed to keep going. Now look at Peter Sellers' character, Claire Quilty. Quilty doesn't hide. He blends in. He's joking, performing, being social. Throughout the movie, there are multiple social settings where teenage girls are present and nobody does anything because everything feels normal, because the setting itself feels legitimate. And Quilty is basically never alone. He's always with Vivian Darkblue. She's quiet. She's present. She's assisting. She smooths things over, manages the environment. So it works like this. One person wants it, the other handles logistics, and the setting provides cover. That structure should feel familiar, because now when you look at Epstein and Ghislaine and you ask, how did this go on for so long? This is how. Not by secrecy, but by normalization. In the new Epstein files, there's direct references to Lolita. Quotes from the novel show up in released images. Those references are for a reason. They point back to the same playbook, using culture, literature, and sophistication as cover. It's a way to signal being familiar with the narrative while distancing themselves from the reality of what's being done. Then Eyes Wide Shut, Kubrick shows you the same idea, just with richer, more powerful people. It's the same system, just a different level. Kubrick was explaining how it works. He was showing the operating system.
The operating system, and of course, he was killed before Eyes Wide Shut came out, and they apparently completely re-edited it to take out a lot of the underlying themes that Kubrick intended for it. And he may be yet another death associated with this group who people seem to die like flies whenever they start poking their nose around this stuff. That video is from my guest, Joey Pepperoni. You can follow him on X at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I at the end. Joey Pepperoni, I, on X. So you can find him and share his information, which they clearly do not want out.
Why didn't the congressman ask Howard Lutnick what he ate with Jeffrey Epstein?
Very disturbing stuff. Can you explain a little bit more as to like what it is about targeting young women? Is it just because that's good blackmail? Is that because there's a spiritual element to it? Why young girls? Why are they so obsessed with the youth and beauty of preteen girls? What's up with that?
It's just for innocence. I mean, they're innocent. It's really more of an innocence thing, and it's a power move. It's something they can just. I'm not really sure exactly why, but it's they do boys too. It's boys, guys, and girls. What they do in the labs. That's what I believe in the underground facilities, underground labs. They do organ harvesting and stuff like that. But the girls are the ones that they prey on, and they normalize it.
You know,
huh?
Well, you know, the Nephilim thing. I'm hung up on that ever since you said it in our first. Explain that. Explain the bloodlines, and because clearly this is a family affair. There are certain families that run the world: the Rothschilds, the Epsteins, the Pritzkers. And you know, I always talk about a game. It's not really a game, but I'd call it Wikipedia hopscotch, right? You just start off with a name. Victoria Nuland is my favorite to start on because you can see who she's married to, who her parents were, and it's one giant network. So how do the bloodlines play into this? Because it's clearly a genetic thing. We have emails from Jeffrey Epstein where they're talking about, oh, you're 98% Jew, you know, those 2% is really, you know, holding you back. I mean, do they think the Jews are Nephilim? Do they think certain Jews are Nephilim? Is it just their families? Are the royal families also Nephilim? How does this play into it? How do the bloodlines expose themselves?
They do. I mean, they really believe that they're the bloodline from the Nephilim. That's what they believe, and that's what they worship. And it's like when we drink blood of Christ. You know, they drink actual blood of babies. But that's their ritual. That's what they grow up in. Their families like that. But even so, there's a lot of them who are atheists. You know, it's not like they're all like that. There's some people who are atheists, and they just get taken over by evil. That's their worldview. So they're just trying to merge. They're trying to live forever, and they're trying to merge with technology. And they use basically the hybrid system only works if the inputs are stable. So that's what they really believe. They believe if the population sinks and the signal is clean, they want to keep the signal clean. They believe they're a master race, and they're just filtering out all the outliers to make it easy to control everybody.
Yeah, that makes sense, and I guess it goes along with the innocence idea that they hate, because you could say, you know, cattle are innocent, you know, cows are innocent, animals are innocent. It's actually a pretty easy way to understand how they are able to do some of the stuff they do if they literally see other human beings as soulless animals. Well, farmers don't feel bad when they kill a cow to harvest its meat. Why would they feel bad about killing a human to harvest its meat? I mean, it's a sick mindset, but it's not exactly incomprehensible.
Yeah, and I was going to add with Kubrick, he was obsessed with power systems, like how they work, how they operate. And that's what he did in his movies. He just revealed the structure, revealed how power operates. So he was documenting like the invisible shield of like in Lolita, you saw that Quilty. He was the social buffer. He was the guy who makes the room feel classy and safe. He was like elite predator. Every elite predator has a Quilty. It's like an Epstein. Somebody whose only job is to make evil radar shut off. So it's like the elite abuse doesn't survive by hiding in dirty alleys, and it survives by hiding in high status. So if you see a sketchy guy in a van, you're gonna call the police. But if you see the same energy wrapped at a dinner party with Harvard people and Nobel people and big money donors, your brain does like a sexual patch. No way, these guys are too important to be doing that kind of stuff. And that's the shield that they have. And that's why you see Lolita quotes appear in the Epstein files. You see even the Lolita Express, you know, that's what he even called his plane. That's a signal. It's a high sign. They're showing you it's a sign. It's a sophisticated literature like psychological safe house. It's like the most horrific behavior gets hidden inside the most respectable settings. So normalization is the software.
The spiritual, the genetic, the technological, how do they all combine? And I guess the question I'm asking, what is the hybrid God? What does that mean?
Hybrid God they're building the hybrid God. They're building the throne right now for the hybrid God. They're going to install the hybrid God into it. It's basically everyone connected to the grid, and it's going to be
an God. What does that mean?
Hybrid God is they're building the hybrid God. They're building the throne right now for the hybrid God. They're going to install the hybrid God into it. It's basically everyone connected to the grid, and it's going to be an overlord for us. It's going to facilitate everything. That's what they want to merge with so that they can rule with it, and we don't. They can control all of us. It's like man, God made man in his image, and that we're doing the same thing. These people are doing the same thing. They're building AI to their own image, and they're going to merge with it. That's the hybrid God.
Here's a question. God invented humanity. Humanity turned against God. Humans are inventing AI. What's the likelihood that AI turns against its creator? Because clearly they find AI to be AI is this very powerful being that they're summoning into, but I don't know if they can control it. Again, it's like the old Jewish folktale of the golem. It's like you guys are creating a monster that you think is going to serve you. Story of the golem is you can't control it and it's going to turn around and kill you next. So what is the likelihood that they're summoning a monster of their own demise?
Well, they tell you right now that they don't know how it works. They don't know how it comes up with this.
That's a cop out.
So eventually, when everything's connected to it, what's going to happen? It's the final countdown.
Seriously,
what's going on?
Okay, so I guess we're back to the question of what do we do about this? Clearly, they're moving forward and on all fronts. How do we stop them? How do we fight back against this? How do we use their own tools against them? Because just like the internet, I think they really don't like how the internet opened up the ability for Infowars.com to exist, for example. Now AI is giving, AI has been very useful in going through the Epstein files for us. These are tools that we can use to defeat the people that created the tools, right? How do we do this? What can we be doing to stop this progress of this mission?
Mass awakening, telling everybody what's going on. I think right now is a revolution's happening. People are waking up to what's happening. It's going to take a little bit more time to fully grasp it because everything's just out at once. But they're really ramping things up. So the fake aliens are probably next, and they're going to be demons. They're not, the aliens or demons is what I believe. But that's what's happening. So we just got to get the message out to people that that's what's going on. If they know that clarity and unity is the answer, then there's a chance, there's a chance that we can defeat it because we won't comply with it. But it's in everything we do now. It's just, you can't even unravel it without destroying everything. You need a reset. You literally need a revolution, a peaceful one. We need a revolution.
And we need the arrest. And we need these people arrested.
We need the arrest. We need 1%. 1%, that's it. You know what I'm saying? We got to go get them all. You know what I mean? For accountability. We're done with them. That's it. 1%. It's 99% versus 1%. We're done. Look what they're doing. Social engineering. Done with them, man. Are you serious? Look at this. How they view us. They were algorithm right on the chalkboard. They're playing. They're nuts.
They are, and it all comes down to a total destruction of human free will. And this goes back to what we were talking about at the beginning of the segment, shaping desires. And we've actually heard people in the World Economic Forum talk about this. There are quotes from Brave New World that explain this perfectly, and everybody knows Brave New World wasn't exactly fiction. In the gap between desire and the fulfillment of the desire. And so the world controllers of Brave New World said, okay, we want everybody's desire to be immediately satisfied. So as long as all that you desire are sex and food and, thrills, then they can provide that to you and you'll always be happy. And they frame this as, getting rid of sadness because sadness only exists between a desire. And so they aren't trying to fulfill everybody's desires. They want to shape your desires so you only desire things that are immediately fulfillable. How does that play into the control grid that you're talking about and the overabundance?
taking a boy and girl and changing their sex, making what they're attracted to. They've been experimenting on us for a long time now. And now people see it, but that's what they've been doing. That's where the transgender stuff, this is all from them. They've been planting seeds from the beginning, from the signal level, from the left side of the chalkboard. That's what they were doing. They're planting all the seeds there. And then on the right side of the chalkboard, they're actually executing it with programs that they have.
Oh, dang,
It's a massive scale. It's scaled up big time. So there's so much things going on, so many different things happening in this one machine. It's hard to understand it all, but it's everything. Everything is going on. It all connects. Like you even have programs in education that they took over. Years ago now that, we're like, oh my God, it's happening. Yeah, because they steered us there. It's all about steering the masses. They're not worried about the masses because they're steering them. That's why most people are sheep. They've been doing this since, that's it. So programs like, the GATE program at school, that's one of them that I believe, I was checked for that. You know what I'm saying? So I know a lot of people that were in it. A lot of people online tell me a lot of stories they have with the GATE.
Yeah, this is a
program.
This is a very weird program. I never remembered this. I was in, gifted and talented or whatever, but I was never subjected to any GATE stuff. But I've heard those stories too. I mean, I had a friend of mine got married to a guy, and he grew up, his school was this crazy school where every room had double-sided mirrors, and the kids were surveilled every second they were in the school as like an experiment to be like, what are people like when they know they're being watched 100% of the time? And it was weird talking to this guy going, you went to a school like that? And he was like, yeah, you sort of got used to it after a while. I mean, there are crazy programs going on across the world, across the country. Let's go to clip C here. This is, again, a video from our guest, Joey Pepperoni, about the GATE program. And you can expand a little bit on the other side. Here is the GATE program from Joey Pepperoni. Follow him on X at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I.
I think they wanted me the hell out of there. The program was called GATE, Gifted and Talented Education. And they pulled selected students out of class in the 80s and 90s. And they took us to these quiet rooms. There was like the shadowy figure in there. He had like a briefcase. I remember the briefcase. It was weird. And I remember these big headphones. They played strange tones and frequencies. And there was like these puzzles and memory tests. They had you guessing shapes, numbers, colors. Like they would have a drawing and you have to guess what it is without seeing it. It's pink drink. People say after they drank it, their memories got wiped. Like that's why we can't remember it well. And at the same time this was going on, the CIA in 1983 released a classified report that was analyzing a program that used sound frequencies to alter consciousness and explore whether the mind could move beyond space and time.
It's an official declassified CIA document known as the Gateway Process.
Well, that's a funny coincidence. And everybody online is saying the more they talk about it, the more fragments come back. We're remembering. Oh, and there's these dreams. My dreams are different than what most people say. Most people have these empty water parks, empty malls, bright places with no people. My dreams were a little different. I used to be dead scared of aliens. One time there was an invasion that came down. They had these big ass eyes. They were invading Earth. And they came in my house. I ran to my kitchen. I fucking popped. And then I woke up. But I always had this fear of aliens. And swimming. I can't swim. Can't do it. It's because of this shit. The fuck it was. The fuck did they do to me? They were looking for highly intuitive minds. The pattern seekers. Outliers who see the system early. And they were trying to prevent uncontrolled awakening by shaping those minds before they could break it. And now we're remembering again.
Absolutely fascinating stuff. And again, it makes sense. You don't want intelligent, competent people opposed to you. So you identify who they are, and either they join you and they get to, explore their talents, or they don't want to join you, and you can, find a way to crush them, or, just make sure they never get a good job and, never rise to any level to defeat you. Sort of terrifying stuff. How does this play into the Epstein reveals?
This is what they were doing. This is one of the programs that they were running. Is social engineering. Just like Ghislaine did Reddit. She was a moderator. That's what I believe. And I was saying that the evidence points that she was that moderator. It's just, they're just steering the masses. They're planting seeds. They're executing with programs like this. So like, in 1983, since the CIA released the Gateway Process Report, it's the same time that these programs started happening in school. So the CIA stuff was they were analyzing altered states like out-of-body experiences and remote viewing. And they ran these tests for those reasons for the kids, is why I believe. So, and then that like programs explore. Everybody is in all the schools. It's called it, gifted and talented. So if you're building a control grid, the biggest threat is not the average person. It's the biggest threat is the outlier. So 100%, this is what they were doing. The kid whose mind is not locked into the normal signal, that kid who sees patterns and can sense manipulation is not predictable. That's a threat to them. And they said it was for IQ. It's not.
That's sort of terrifying, actually, if you really think about it. And it shows the lie of their underlying philosophy that they're the superior master race. It's like, well, you seem terrified of us underlings. You seem terrified that we ever get power or are able to fully carry out our will. They're very scared of that, which you would think as the superior Nephilim beings, they wouldn't have to worry about us lowly humans threatening them. But obviously, we are a giant threat.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Beelzebub led a successful revolt against the devil and the chief lieutenant of Lucifer, the emperor of hell, and presides over the order of the fly. This is what they're talking about, I guess. This is Steve Bannon and Jeffrey Epstein. And then he makes a crude joke about his fly. I mean, these just weirdos, man. Just absolute weirdos. Your videos are just absolutely mind-blowing. Again, my guest is Joey Pepperoni. You can find him on X at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I on the end. How else can people find you and support you, sir?
I'm on Instagram as well. Instagram is the biggest followers I have is on there. But yeah.
What's your account name on Instagram?
_ Joey Pepperoni. Let me double check that though.
_ Joey. But there's a link tree on the X, so you can find all of his links there at Joey Pepperoni with an extra I on the end on X. Thank you so much for being here with us, sir. Joey Pepperoni, making absolutely incredible content, revealing the underlying Nephilim-driven Satanism of the Jeffrey Epstein cabal. Thanks for being with us, sir.
Thank you so much for having me on, Harrison. God bless you and InfoWars and the audience.
Amen.
You were just telling me that you had a brain disease, and what did you do to fix it?
I found this guy's a functional medicine guy, and he got me on methylene blue, and that instantly stopped everything.
I'd take it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I take it every day as well. And
RFK Jr. told me about it.
Yeah, man, it's fantastic. And so this guy's injecting, in 1890, injects these rats with it, and then does an autopsy on these things. And their brain, the brainstem, every single nerve is blue. So he discovered this methylene blue has an affinity for neuronal tissue. So he says, well, it's sucking into neurons and working in the body. So we started putting it in humans. And we found out it's an MAOI, which helps with depression and anxiety and all kinds of life stress and stuff. It is so incredible that it acts as an electron donor to mitochondria, especially your neuronal mitochondria. So it helps you produce more ATP, and it helps you get rid of this stuff called reactive oxygen species. So you have an oxygen molecule that should have 2 hydrogens on it. And like your body's job is to convert stuff into water so you can pee it out. So if you get an oxygen molecule, it's got 4, 5, 1. It's a reactive oxygen, which we call free radicals. So methylene blue goes in there and balances a lot of those things out in your brain and your nervous system. So it is a miracle. It's been proven for 100 years. It's one of the most well-proven drugs out there.
The strongest medical grade methylene blue. And this is what I'm on. Total mitochondria cleaning. Next level energy. This is amazing. And you want to know what I'm on? Iris CMOS, Shilajit. This right here. Look at that. That is power. I'm on intermittent fasting. I'm 8 at 3 o'clock today. And I stopped eating crap food. Stopped drinking. That's what I'm on right there, baby.
Leading a frontal assault on the lies of the New World Order, it's Alex Jones.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. You're watching The Alex Jones Show. I'm your host, Harrison Smith. We're going to be joined by Mike Lindell momentarily, but I want to first go to a video that I just swarms the cockles of my heart. That's a weird saying, but it does. It fills me with joy to see people having the appropriate reaction to the government being tyrannical scum. Let's go to clip 4.
Oh, it's still not going to do it. Well, thanks anyway. Please donate to the link in my description.